Thank you so much, Mr. President, for opening back our churches. We appreciate that, Mr. President. Asante sana, Mr. President. Now, I have an issue. As a akurino, I have an issue, Mr. President. The thing of 1 hour in our Sunday services is giving me sleepless night, Mr. President. As a matter of fact, Mr. President, you know that our programs are the longest, the hugest, the so longest in the whole world, Mr. President. Remember, in our Sunday service, we have to Kuarahura, Mr. President. Kuarahura is a system of people speaking, singing from outside, and we singing from inside, and we are colliding. Kuarahura. Mr. President, we have something else we call Vyoming. Vyoming in the churches, it means one person from your church connecting to a heavenly line and speaking to heavenly language, and somebody else is translating on his or her behalf, and we are all listening to him, Mr. President, of which it cannot take 1 hour, Mr. President. Mr. President, I want you to know this, that we as akurino, our testimony may not be like other people's testimony. Our testimonies are huge. Our testimonies have big words. Our vocabularies are not like other people's vocabularies, Mr. President. So our testimony, if you have been beaten a miracle, you have to showcase your miracle, and the people have to understand your miracle. Mr. President, I want to know that every time we give dreams, Mr. President, some of us, they dream on our behalf, and they have to give us the dream they had for us in our lives, Mr. President. If, Mr. President, a dream is given, we all have to listen, Mr. President, of which this hour is so less to us, Mr. President. With due respect, Mr. President, you are supposed to know that when we are in our churches, Mr. President, we cannot sing for less than 1 hour, Mr. President. Akurino is music, and music is inside akurino, Mr. President. We sing and sing until singing becomes us and we become singing, Mr. President. Lastly, Mr. President, we had a wedding of a akurino wedding, a white lady, Mr. President. A akurino with a mzungu. That was our first short wedding, Mr. President. I think it took less than 5 hours, Mr. President. Tulijifinyilia sana, Mr. President. In fact, we had to sing last night, ndio kesho yake tufunganisha peke yake. Because we sing for bride and bridegroom, we sing for them a lot, too much music, we sing, Mr. President. Mr. President, I would like you to consider this, that inside our churches, we have all these things that cannot go for only 1 hour, Mr. President. Our preaching may not go for not less than 1 hour, Mr. President. At 3, Mr. President, we always wait for the angel to speak. If the angel will come at 3, Mr. President, and we went to the church in the morning, Mr. President, how are we going to connect with him at 3 and we have already left to go home? Is the angel going to come home or at church? Why didn't you consider us, Mr. President? Why did you ask us what time is he coming, Mr. President? With due respect, Mr. President, I know you are not going to say this, Mr. President, but I want to ask you with honor, Mr. President, please, like my page, Bishop Mehmet, so that you can be seeing this, because I know you not see it. Mr. President, remember, when other people are saying they are okay with 1 hour, remember we, like me, I may be living from Karioa. I may be living in Karioa and my church is in Nairobi. I may consume 1 hour going to church. And this 1 hour is the one you have given to us to be in churches, Mr. President. Mr. President, I want you to consider this, Mr. President, that in our churches before COVID, we had karingaringa and dramas, Mr. President. The karingaringas in our churches, Mr. President, they have all rusted. They cannot produce a sound, Mr. President. With due respect, Mr. President, I want you to order the county governments within the central government to tell them karingaringas are got from engines of vehicles. May they use the car vehicles they have, and remove karingaringa from the engine and distribute all the karingaringas to akurino churches. Let them distribute these karingaringas. We need them, Mr. President. We are not asking for karingaringas which are new, because there is no new karingaringa. Lazima utumie engine ndio utoe karingaringa. We want those karingaringas hata kama iko na oil ya engine, Mr. President. Remember, hatuna darama, Mr. President. We don't have them. Ni mzee, hazitoi sound, Mr. President. What we want from you, Mr. President, hakuna ng'ombe zinachinjwa na COVID. Nani atanunua nyama? We need your own cows, Mr. President. Zichinjwe, tuchukue hiyo ngozi. We want to make our own daramas, new daramas, Mr. President. Kwa sababu umefungua na hatukuwa tumejitayarisha. We need these daramas, Mr. President. We are akurino and singing is our business, Mr. President. Nikimalizia, Mr. President, I want to tell you this. I want you to talk to the Wahindi wenye wako Kirinyaga Road. Waache kuuza kiremba expensive, Mr. President. This thing kutoka hapa kwenda juu nimevaa 1,800, Mr. President. Kutoka hapa kwenda juu. Mr. President, let them be as cheap as 200 so that our normal Mokorino will be able to buy that kiremba, Mr. President, because umefungua kanisa and we are back to system and being akurino is our business. Na tunapenda hiyo kitu, Mr. President. Remember, Mr. President, as now we are going back to churches, Mr. President, we need you to go around, kwa sababu kama hatuibi utupatie polisi wenye wanakuja wanapiga drama kanisani kwetu, wanapigia hapo nje. Sisi kazi yetu ni kupreach na kusikiza word, they sing on our behalf, Mr. President. Lazima hapo kierebeke, because we cannot, as Wakorino, we cannot, Mr. President. With all due respect, we cannot, Mr. President. Sometimes we may be having a ceremony of tying somebody a turban. Kireba tunamfungia kanisa. That ceremony may not take less than 1 hour, Mr. President. It is too long, Mr. President. Consider us, Mr. President. I know you are not going to see this thing, Mr. President, but please like my page. Let us be talking. Sometimes tunaingia live tunapea watu mehemehe, and I shall appreciate that, Mr. President. Mr. President, remember that kanisa zimefunguliwa, Mr. President. Na venye zimefunguliwa, Mr. President, haujakuwa ukitutembelea. Sometimes vizuri unaingia Facebook, unakuja huku tunaonana. Go to various